Hey, good morning. As we have the opportunity to meet with key decision makers like yourself who have the responsibility for influencing and maximize company operations, one of the things we hear about is the challenges that you face within the tool and rental process. In fact, these three numbers tell a story. About accountability, visibility, streamlining processes and operations, as well as cost reduction and cost control. In a recent study done by Texas A&M, they found that on average, when surveyed in the commercial and industrial market, 82% of customers agreed that an increase in rental utilization would lead to an increase in operational ROI. However, within the same study, they found that 46% of customers admitted that they currently do not track utilization. Based on data that RSC has gathered over the years from our own customers such as yourself, we found that 24% of transactions are actually out past the estimated return date, resulting in a duration of 15 days. Leaders like yourself have shared with us how equipment management is affecting not only short-term but also long-term strategies. Here's another way to look at it. Utilization equals profit. Now, our customers also tell a story for us of what today looks like inside their rental scenario. You'll see that there's decentralization, while necessary, can sometimes hinder future performance, in addition to various systems that are in place in terms of tracking equipment through Excel spreadsheets, maybe equipment rental logs. There's multiple vendors involved with different billing cycles, as well as multiple employees that are tied to the process from start to finish. Not to mention numerous crafts and trades that need not only the right equipment, but they also need it at the right time and place. So what are the effects of this rental scenario? You'll see that there's typically duplication order of, say, specific items such as backhoes, forklifts on site, resulting in too much fleet. As we mentioned before, there's oftentimes equipment out past the estimated return date, resulting in too long. Not to mention the whole scenario together with the decentralization and the various systems can call for everything to just be too complex. So if you're wondering what's the results of too much, too long, and too complex, well, it's easy. The excessive spend that's taking place, as well as the excessive time that's spent, is actually hindering employee productivity, which, as you know, can be your greatest asset, which is your people. Now, at best, this is a fragmented rental process that's reactive, which quite frankly is putting your company at risk. However, the greatest risk is not making future plans for potential growth. You'll see that the inability to plan for equipment management into the future can hinder potential growth as well as companies' performance. So you may ask, how are companies measuring risk today? What you'll see is, it's very common, it's price. Typically there's a measurement of certain items where you compare vendor versus vendor, things of that nature. However, studies have shown that price can only equate to 1/6 the amount of savings that of too much, too long, and too complex can. So companies are actually choosing to work with RSC to bridge the gap from what today looks like all the way into the future. And only by working with RSC are companies able to set themselves up with organizational goals that are beneficial for the future. One of those goals is that they're setting out improved visibility and accountability. What if your company had insight into how the operations and process was working within your company? The good news is that total control can allow your people not only to manage the too much and too long, but also gives your people the empowerment to make decisions based off of data in the field. Goal number 2, which we talked about before, is streamlining processes and operations. What if your company had the resource to give them performance in terms of managing productivity within the rental process? With RSC's managed service strategy, we can provide dedicated account support to help not only manage the process, but provide the labor that your company may need to send out an efficient rental program. The third is going to be one you're all too familiar with, which is cost control and cost reduction. What if your company had the data to make decisions based off of benchmarking of other customers through reports on either a monthly or quarterly basis? The good news is RSC uses key performance indicators that are used based off of industry standards, where we can provide reporting to you from our total control system on a quarterly or monthly basis. So, as you can see, companies are choosing to work with RSC to achieve these goals through what's called RSC's consumption management. While this may be a new term to you, this is definitely a new strategy to the rental industry, but the good news is it's not new to us. Several of our customers are already bringing back to us that they're receiving 6 times the amount of cost savings that which of price is. Not only that, this can be accomplished only by working with RSC and having the correct accountability, visibility, as well as streamlining the processes in the field, and working closer together, getting to build a bridge from today all the way to the future. So if you're looking to move away from this reactive, fragmented process, align with a company that can formulate a repeatable process, not only for field operations and corporate, but company specific. And if you're looking to eliminate risk from where your process is today, you're only going to achieve that by working with RSC. This is a proactive rental management program, which best-in-class customers are achieving. Now, by working with RSC, you and RSC can customize a program that's beneficial not only to you, but your whole organization. I wanted to share with you another customer that's in a very similar situation, or was in a similar situation as yourself. This is a major oil and gas company. They identified a few key CAT class items similar to someone would do is analyzing pricing, but they took the approach of managing utilization. And they found that an increase in 35% of these items in utilization actually resulted in a 28% reduction in spend on specific items. And this happened in just 3 months' time. So I gotta ask you, are we ready to work together?